Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to F1 Manager 24 Creator Team Career with Ferrari. It's Season 5, Round 2 tonight. We'll be heading to Jeddah, but first, we need to go through the patch. The big new patch dropped earlier today, about midday, I think it was. And it also dropped 2 DLC packs for free as well, each containing 6 liveries. We've got 6 new customizable livery templates and 6 historical customizable livery templates, and we'll go through those in a moment. But first, let's address the patch notes. So, the new patch has gone live with new customizer season options, new creator driver, which I haven't had to play around with yet, and I realise you can't see the web browser that I'm now showing. So I'll back out of that and I'll do it on my phone instead. Let's first of all jump into Creator Team to start a new Creator Team career, not to continue, but just to go through some of the new features. Right, let me pull up the F1 Manager website. Go to news. There we go. So, we got, as I say, 2 DLC packs that have been dropped in for free, and we'll look at the liveries in a moment. The first one contains 6 customizable standard, abstract liveries. The other one is the historical livery pack, which has 6 classic liveries from 1963 all the way through to 2021. Bit of a mix, and there are some interesting ones in there. On top of that, we also have the brand new team lineup changes and everything as well. Now, there is a deep dive article on the website, which I do recommend that you have a read through. I'm not going to read all of it because it's a long old article, but there is one thing that the patch did not address with the bug fixes, much to my annoyance. It's the DRS zones. They are still broken. Really a little frustrated by that, but they still haven't fixed the DRS zones for for Melbourne and for Hungary. They are still broken, unfortunately. They have fixed some other things, but those 2 DRS zones in particular are very much broken. So this is the new screen that we see when you start a new Creator Team file. You only see this on a new file. You don't get to do this on an existing file, and you only get to do it at the start of a save. You don't get to change the driver lineups partway through your save file, so at the end of Season 1 or the end of Season 2, which is a little annoying. I was kind of hoping that we would get the ability to do that every season, but as far as I can see, or at least having loaded up one of my older saves that was at the end of a season, there were no options to do anything like that going into the new season. It's a little bit frustrating, a little bit disappointing, I suppose, is more of a thing. So the first thing we can do is we can mess around with all of the teams. So we can change the driver lineups if we wanted to. We could put Lewis in the Red Bull alongside Charles, for example, and we could change the engineers. We could change the staff here. It tells you how much that team would normally start with, 14.5 mil. You could then go in and change that if you wanted to, pushing it all the way up from 2 million all the way up to 100 million. So you could go, really OP. You can also mess around with the facilities as well. You can't go in and customize the individual facilities, I don't think. But you can, bump the level a bit. And you can do the same with car performance as well. So if you wanted to, you could make Red Bull absolutely appalling. Let's say it's quite appealing. So you can do that for all of the teams. And then any team that you've moved a driver from, it then goes to this. So it leaves it blank, or you can choose to draft in either a free agent, or you could draft in a custom created driver. So I haven't actually played about with this yet. Let's have a little look at this. Let's have a look if we could make a Mansell. Just out of interest. Where are the different headshots? How do I choose the headshot? There we go. So we just cycle through this way. So these look like the ones from in-game. These are mostly staff headshots. I think these are all staff headshots, actually. I don't think any of these are actually drive. Oh, no, maybe one or two of them are previous drivers, but there doesn't seem to be a way to actually manually select the driver that you want, or the headshot that you want. You have to basically just keep randomizing it until you find one that you like. That's a little annoying. But as you can see, you can make them seasoned, you can make them experienced, rookies, veterans, world-class, podium contender, mid-pack racer, newcomer. Then you can mess around with their individual skills as well. Change their aggression level, their development rate, so you can put them on maximum development rate if you really wanted to. I'm guessing that's going to go up in real time. Yes, it is. So if you really wanted to be obscene, you could create a driver that is just, unstoppable. Let's go back to here. Let's put Bortoletto in for the Ferrari, for example. Or you could leave that space blank. And you could do that for all the teams. You could strip out all the drivers and just see what happens. So you've got some options there with your team lineups. Then you've got your race calendar options. Now, you always have to have a race in the very first box here, where Bahrain is. This doesn't have to be Bahrain, but you do have to have a race there. And then same again at the end. You have to have a race in the Abu Dhabi slot. But the others you can sort of remove, replace. You can choose to make it a sprint weekend if you want to. Are we limited to just 6 sprints? Let's see if we can make every weekend a sprint weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, you can have as many sprints as you want by the look of it. I do remember reading in the brief yesterday that you need a minimum of 8 races for the season. But one thing I was really hoping, and is not here, unfortunately, was that they would give us France back, and we could maybe swap France into the calendar and go for, say a 20 race season, and then just randomly rotate France in. Given that we had it in F1 Manager 22 and 23, but France is no more. So that's, again, I think a missed opportunity. That would have been a nice thing to have. You can just go random with your race calendar, so you could start with Monza, for example, Singapore. I did a random test earlier, and I got a sprint at Singapore and Monaco, which is just horrible, and Hungary as well. Just horrible circuits for sprinting. There we go. We've got a sprint at Silverstone. Where is Monaco? There's Monaco, and it's a sprint weekend. So you can really just kind of randomize things. You could do a USA triple header. I mean, you could make this circuit Miami, and then we could go with Austin, and then we could go with Vegas, and then you could go with Mexico if you wanted to, and have a very hectic month like that. And of course, if you are a bit of a purist like me, make sure that Melbourne is the opening Grand Prix of the season. So you've got all sorts of options with your calendar, and then once you've chosen that, you then get choices with how you want to mess with that at the end of the season. So you can either keep it as you created it, or you can do a partial shuffle where 30% of the races will change, or you can do a full randomization where everything could change. But I don't think, once you've set your initial grid or your initial calendar, I don't think you can then go in and do the full, messing around like we've just done beyond that. So, again, that's something I need to spend some time playing about with, I think. Same with rules and regulations. You can do all sorts here as well. So you can change the points. So if you have a look on the right-hand side, you can see we've got points down from 1st to 10th, 25 points for a win, 1 point for 10th, and everything in between. Or we can go to the sort of 2010s point scheme of 10 for a win, down to 1 point for 8th. Or we can go back to the 90s and have 10 points for a win, down to 1 point in 6, and just the top 6 paying out points. You can choose whether you want a pole position bonus point, a fastest lap bonus point. You can turn that off because that doesn't exist anymore. Double points for the last race for that one horrible season that we had. You can mess around with the aero rules, so you can balance it so everybody gets exactly the same, or you can leave it with the default, or you can make it quite extreme, or you can make it a little bit tighter, so top gets a little bit more, bottom gets a little bit less than the standard scheme there. So you've got 4 different options you can choose there. You can choose how many engines, gearboxes and ERSs you start with, from 2 all the way up to 6 on all of those. So that's kind of interesting, especially if you're doing sprints at almost every Grand Prix. Then you're going to want, potentially a lot of spare engine parts. And then you can do the same for points, for money as well. So you can make the cost cap anywhere from 125 mil all the way down to 175 mil if you wanted to. You can have an obscene cost cap. I mean, I've never ever broken the cost cap in this version of the game, so I just never had enough money to do that. You also have a choice of how you mess up the prize fund. So default is that winner gets 13%, last gets 5.2. You can make it more extreme. Winner gets a little bit more, loser gets a little bit less. Or you can bring it a little bit closer together, 13%. Oh, that's it. That's the only two you've got. So you can either have, you know, the standard scheme or reward excellence with a little bit of extra cash. You've got all sorts of different options across all of that. And of course, you could, if you wanted to, just completely randomize the rules and regs. Can you remove races and add races? I think without going through the full deep dive article, I think once you set your initial calendar, that's it. I don't think you can then go through the full change again the following season. I don't know. I would need to actually play through a season to find that out. But this is the only time you get to do this. When you're in Creator Team, you don't get to do this in any other mode. So if you were to start a new career,
Formula One,
it just goes straight in.
Last year, Red Bull
and you do that. So you do not get any of that customization in career mode. It's only in Creator Team mode. Let's just continue to create a team. We'll skip through the intro. So as before, you've got your 5 different origins or your own personal version of an origin where you can choose everything. We'll skip through. These options haven't really changed. You've got a maximum of 40 million, minimum of 2 million. Facilities, you can go 1-star to 5-star, and you can change those facilities within reason. Same with car performance, 1-star to 5-star. That hasn't changed. This hasn't changed either, choosing your starting staff. Although you can now add in your customized creator driver. So if you wanted to make yourself as a driver and put yourself in, then you could do that if you can find a headshot that vaguely resembles you. It also means that you could add in drivers like Colton Herta, for example, or you could bring back Sebastian Vettel, or, you know, again, you've got to find a headshot that kind of resembles him. PC will no doubt be able to just mod in the proper headshots, but to be fair, this is more for console users, this stuff anyway. PC users can use a database editor and do way more than we can. So none of this bit here has changed. Powertrain hasn't changed. That's still the same. Jason Butt if you wanted to. And then you get to do your liveries. So I did say I would show you the new liveries. They are all the way down here at the bottom underneath the liveries that they put in for the content creators and the Twitch and stuff, the ones that can't be edited. So we have underneath the custom ones here, this is the first of the new liveries. This is, in fact, actually it's going to be easier because I'll actually show you the names. If we just go to create a new livery here and swoop all the way down. So we'll start at the very bottom. So these are the new abstract liveries. I really like this one. I think there's a lot of potential for this one. And then you got a bit of a stars and stripes kind of theme. So you could make a custom USA livery on this one if you wanted to, which is something I did sort of play about with a little bit myself earlier. There we go. Just swap these two colours around. There we go. So if we go red and white, there you go. So you've got a custom sort of USA. And if you don't want all of that blue, then you still have the option to do your horizontal gradients. So we can go blue on the rear, and then we can go white on the front, and then bring that through a bit like that. And there we go. So you've got all sorts of different options that you could do. And again, you could even fade out those red stripes a bit at the front as well. Let's have a look at just seeing what that looks like if we were to do that. So we want the red there, and then we want the white there, and then we want to bring that red forward like that, and then have a white nose with that little black bit of bar down the middle in the front wings, and then you've got your American flag fade at the back like that. So there's all sorts of options with that particular livery if you wanted to do like a Yankee Doodle stars and stripes kind of livery. Next up we have this one. Let me just put the colours back as they should be. This one's got some nice options in it as well. There's a lot of potential for some really cool liveries with this particular layout. Then we've got this one, a little bit more interesting, a lot of carbon fibre at the back. And then you have this one with a bit of a sort of a checkering down the centre of the car. And then the stripes as well. This would be really good for doing something like a French flag or an Italian flag. If you wanted to do like a special Italian themed livery for Lamborghini or an Alfa Romeo, or something like that, that gives you some nice options. You could also maybe do a nice Prema car with that as well if you want to do Prema. And then there's this one, which is a little bit more over the top, I think, is the way to describe it. It's kind of like circuit boardy style in some way, but there's a lot of background noise on that one. It's a very busy livery, so sponsors could be quite tricky to see on that one. Now we go into the historical ones. So first up we have Brackley 1999. So for those of you that are wondering, Brackley 99 is the BAR 01. It's the very first BAR car, which would then become BAR Honda, which would then become Honda, which would become Braun, and is now Mercedes. And this is the split livery. So this is the Lucky Stripe. Sorry, that is the Lucky Stripe side, and that is the 555 side. Now, unfortunately, you can't actually recreate that because you don't have enough color options. But that is the split livery there. So, I mean, the closest you can get would be to make that white like that, and then on the opposite side, you could go with the blue like that, but then you can't do the yellow stripes on that side without turning the red on this side yellow as well. So, if you wanted to, you could run an approximation of the very first BAR livery that got slapped down by the FIA. What else do we have livery wise? We have 5 more historicals to look at as well. So the second one is Milton Keynes 95. Some of you can probably guess what this one is. It's not Red Bull. It is actually Footwork. This is the Footwork Arrows FA16. Again, it's not quite right, but it's a very close approximation. So if you wanted to do the Footwork livery, there you go. Then we have Enstone 04. This is the Renault R24 that Fernando Alonso raced. He didn't win the title. No, actually, no. Did Alonso race them in 2004? I can't remember. But it's the same livery that they ran in 2005 and 2006 when he won his 2 championships. I think he was racing for them in 2005. 2004. I'm not sure. Next up, we have Woking 21. This is McLaren, and this is the orange and blue, or papaya and blue car. So let's just put an orange in. Two, there we go. It's kind of papaya-ish, and then this is blue is a little bit off. There we go, and then I can't remember what other colour they have. I'm guessing black. There we go. So that's like based off the McLaren MCL35. That's what that livery is based off of. And again, I think there's a lot of potential for some really cool liveries with that one there. You'd even turn that into a very nice Golf livery, I think, if you wanted to. Next up is the Faenza 00, and this is the Minardi M02 from the year 2000. Yellow with blue was this car. Yellow with dark blue. And then the last one is Chess Hunt 63. This is based on the Lotus 25 from 1963, which was green with a yellow stripe down the middle. So very simple, very retro style of livery. Nice and clean, and plenty of space for sponsors as well. So those are the 12 new liveries that have been added in with the 2 free DLC packs. Plenty of stuff to play about with in terms of livery creators there. I don't think we have anything new in here. No, we don't. I didn't look before. And then obviously logo is exactly the same. You can just add in your custom logo. Then you get a new kind of first look at your team with quite a nice big preview box on the side as well. This is where you also then get the choice to choose to move to a different team. So once you've created Frontier Racing, you can then choose which team you want to start with. So you can create a monster in Frontier Racing, and then you could, if you wanted to, go to Haas and start with Haas. Or you could go to Ferrari and start with Ferrari. And if we go back to here and we just go to Ferrari, for example, and we take both of their drivers out like that,
Formula One.
Now if we were to whiz through all that again, there you can see that you're starting with no drivers. So you have the option now to then negotiate with new drivers when you start your career file, which is a really cool thing. You don't start with pre-assigned drivers. You can start with no drivers at all. You can even potentially, I suppose, you can't do it with your custom team, I don't think. Maybe you can. I haven't tried. I don't think you can. No, you have to select stuff on the custom team. But yeah, you could go to Ferrari and they could have no drivers at all. We're actually going to pop that in. And let's just see. There we go. We have no drivers, so we can't do anything until we hire drivers. So we would have to negotiate with the rest of the grid. I mean, we could try and promote Giovinazzi, for example. We could put Schumacher in there. We could even put Behrman in the car straight away. But that is kind of the option that you have with the new patch. So there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do, but it does seem to be focused purely in starting a create a team file, and then once that's done, you can't then go back and do it again at the end of the year. It's a little bit frustrating in that respect. There is an option to mess with team branding, but it's not for your own team. So Frontier Racing could now become Cadillac, for example. At the end of the season, you could choose to rebrand the team in its entirety, having already set it up. So we could slap on there it is. And these changes will occur in real time in the file as well. So this was Frontier Racing. Now we don't get to see those changes applied because we're not applying them to ourselves. But if we were to whiz across to the end in the standings now, they see it's Cadillac now, not Frontier Racing, and the emblem's there now as opposed to just a circle. So you can rebrand the custom team whenever you want, at any point in the season, which means you can still throw in a special livery for that team even when you're not controlling them. That's kind of cool. But it's the only team you can do that with. You can't do that with Ferrari or Mercedes or McLaren or Williams or any of that. You can't put on a special livery for any of those guys. I don't know if we'll ever get that. I don't know. I do feel there are some missed opportunities with this update. Whether we'll get an expansion of these tools in a future update, I don't know. I really hope that this isn't the last update. I really hope that we still get a bit more support with this game, because it's not quite finished yet. It's still got some things that are broken. The DRS zones at Melbourne and Hungary are still broken, and they've been broken since day one. I mean, how have they not been fixed? I don't know. It must be so easy to do. But there we go. That's a quick sort of overview of the patch. And as I say, there is a full deep dive article on their website. I do recommend that you go and have a read through that. But we have a race of our own to get through tonight. One thing I am going to do, though, is... where is the team branding? Is I am going to change that just to Cadillac, because that was always the initial plan. I just forgot to take the Brabham bit off. But we can actually change the nationality of the team now as well, which is quite cool. So we go here. You can see it's now just Cadillac. Brabham is no more. Right. Let's see who we got in the chat. We've got Dino, we've got Jack, we've got Rinketic, Wayne. Clark's here as well. Good to see you guys. Hello to anyone else who is lurking and hasn't said hello yet as well. So we got off to a really strong start last night. A much stronger start than I was anticipating. We're going to a very different characteristic of circuit tonight. As you can see, our car is pretty much slap bang in the middle of the pack right now. At least Fujii's car is. Not quite as good, unfortunately, for Zhou's car He only has the new suspension. He does not have the new side pod, does not have the new chassis. They are in production, but actually he'll get the side pod tomorrow. He'll get that in time for qualifying, but he won't get the chassis until after we get back. So he won't have that until Melbourne. But yeah, quite a difference in terms of the rankings, but in terms of actual performance, between the two cars, it's not massive. The field is quite tight at the moment. There is definitely a breakaway at the front. Red Bull, at least in Charles Leclerc's hands, are pretty quick. Williams are still pretty quick. McLaren have shown glimpses of pace. Norris looked pretty pacey at points in that Grand Prix last night. But Cadillac are looking very strong indeed. Oscar, in the end, ran out a huge victory of like 17 seconds over Kimi. And he was about 4 or 5 seconds ahead of Leclerc in the end as well. So pretty convincing win for Oscar last night. A 1-2 for Cadillac. And we were about, 40 seconds away when we crossed the line. So we were a way off. We weren't close. We do have some work to do if we want to challenge for wins this year, I think. But who knows? Maybe a little bit of luck, a couple of good upgrades. We could be right in the mix in relatively short order. We've got most of our facilities fixed now as well. We still need to fix the factory. That's slowing down how quickly things are being built. And we need to, sort out the design center. But that's not a cheap refurb, and it's a very expensive upgrade. Plus, if we do upgrade it, the upkeep costs are going to go up as well, I believe. So that would be pretty pricey, given that we are barely making any money from the board each month. We're making about 700 grand from the board once our deductions are taken out for wages, etc. Not ideal. And we're not bringing in enough money from prize money this year because the team finished bottom. Yeah, we need to get this team back to winning ways quickly to avoid it going bankrupt again. We've got 1.2 mil in the bank, and we're going to hang on to that because I want to do a front wing project, and we need 1.8 for that. So we will try and get a front wing started once Jeddah is complete, assuming that we do make enough money without deductions. That's not a given. If we have a strong performance again like last night, we're going to be losing a fair bit of cash. So we should, I think, just about have enough money to do it. Let's take a look at the driver's mentality. Oh, they are buzzing, aren't they? Look at that. Super enthusiastic. Very happy with other facilities and staff. Same for Joe as well. Yeah, they are at a team level that they haven't been at before. So they are enjoying all that extra stuff that they get to play about with. Let's set our targets for tonight's race. 17th for Fuji and 18th for Joe. And of course, we can put that side pod on the car before qualifying as well.
We're here in Jeddah, where the tension is boiling as we head into the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We're on the shores of the Red Sea in the shade of Jeddah's skyscrapers. This might be a dream setting, but as we know, in Formula One, not all dreams come true. Last round was a dream weekend for race winner Oscar Piastri, the Australian showing his mettle against the best of the best. Now let's get the weekend underway.
Oh, it is nice to see mechanics actually having some branding on them rather than just plain shirts. Right, let's get our setups in for Jeddah. This is quite a quick circuit, so we want slightly lower rear wing than we did in Bahrain, but the front wing is a bit higher, so we've got that turn in. We're going to go with 7 on the front. It's usually like a 10.5, 11, maybe an 11.5. We're going to go 7.11. I'm going to go 9.1. I'm going to whack that all the way up, and I'm going to drop that all the way down, and then we'll do something slightly different on the other car. I'm going to run for, let's see, it's normally 20 laps. No, normally 18 laps here. I'm going to run for 20, because we do still need to finish learning the car parts. Not changing anything over there. Push that up to 20. And then we're going to go with an 8, an 11. We're going to go with an 8.2, a 3.5, and a 0. Go. And let's send them out.
Okay, green light.
Someone wants to put Mahavir Raghunathan at Red Bull. Well, he's not in the game, but we could make him. If we are going to make him, we'd have to make him, I think, worse than Petit. Yeah, all those drivers that have buggered off to other categories
How's the tire, you think?
because they can't get a drive in Formula One, you could maybe bring back drivers like Dan Ticktum, for example, or you could bring some of the Formula E drivers over with the creator team option. You're not obviously going to get the right headshot, but you can get an approximation potentially. You could bring IndyCar drivers over. You could bring drivers in from other disciplines as well, or you could bring back recently retired drivers if you want to create Jenson Button or David Coulthard, Felipe Massa, drivers who are retired within the last 10, 15 years. You could even go back even further. You could bring back drivers like Prost, Senna. You could go even further back. You could bring back Niki Lauda, James Hunt, Sterling Moss, Jim Clark. I mean, the choices are there for you, but it's entirely up to you how you want to create those drivers. Whether you try and create a fairly realistic facsimile of them in terms of age and skill, or if you just want to make them in massively overpowered 18-year-olds that would just blitz the field for decades. Just beware that the wages will be extortionately high for some of those drivers. There we go. That one worked. Now, have we got it right for Joe? Not quite. Yeah, that 71191 3.50 setup works a lot of the time. So I always put that one in first. And, it's got a good hit rate of actually being one of the two setups. The other one, not so much, but it's only 6% away, so too much to do to find that little extra that we need for show. Ooh, who is in? Is that Mansell? Is Mansell getting a run? He is. Christian Mansell's getting a run. Sitting in for Oscar. Ollie Behrman's in for Share. Who else is in? That's it. Just those two. Right, we're at 86%. So that should be pretty straightforward, getting him up to 100 in terms of driver prep. Let's see. The 9-1 is going to be too extreme. So let's go with the 7-3 instead. Let's go. Probably a bit too much. Let's stick with the 8.2. Let's go 7.11 8.2 3.5. I need to find 6%. So that's too much of a change. That might be it. We'll try that. And that's it for us for practice 1. Nice and simple, nice and straightforward. Ride on board with Christian Mansell. So let me see if I can find the bug fixes. So, bug fixes for Creator Team. Leclerc and Sainz will no longer be shown on team branding screen when default drivers are left unchanged in Creator Team. Never saw that bug before. Resolved inability to see which are active sponsors in the decal editor. That should be interesting. Of course, we can no longer kind of check in on that while we're at Ferrari. Welcome email will no longer display incorrect contract data having started Creator Team game with vacant seats. Well, that's a bug fix for a bug that hadn't even gone live. Contracts and hiring. Breakout multiplier lower limit has been set to times 0.5. So it looks as though you can no longer have no breakout modifier at all on contracts. It looks like it's a minimum of times 0.05. When terminating a driver or staff member's contract, the cost to terminate contract will no longer display an incorrect value. Addressed blank response when offering a contract with an immediate deadline on the first day of a race weekend. No, you can. Oh, no, you can with some drivers. Revised UI in contract negotiation screen. You might have to check that out. Finance and sponsorship next. Resolved starting balance not updating when changing engine manufacturer during end of season flow. Addressed some engagement activities not contributing to the engagement target after the first season. That is something I have noticed. Engagement activities will no longer be available for facilities the user does not have. That makes sense. Resolved spending breakdown screen not displaying any incoming or outgoing data for sponsors. That's quite nice. Team management. Resolved mentality level being displayed inconsistently between some screens. Biggest issue feedback will no longer show an incorrect number of staff with the same opinion. Driver development emails will no longer show a blank sender. Race weekend. So this is the important one, and this is where the glaring lack in the patch notes made me suspicious. And the first thing I did when I had the patch installed was to go to a race weekend, a race replay, load up Australia, and then load up Hungary, and realised that there was a reason why it was missing from this section. Addressed the AI reluctance to send cars out in qualifying when track changes from wet to dry. So we should get some more dramatic qualifying sessions this season, where we had some very anticlimactic qualifyings last year. That should now hopefully be a thing of the past. Hopefully. Resolved incorrect finish position displayed on post-race driver performance screen. So this is at the end where your driver will finish above their sponsor target. It'll have an X, but you'll still get the payout. That should be now fixed. Crack rubber will no longer drop significantly after a red flag. That makes sense. Good to see that that's been fixed. Bahrain race weekend dates have been updated. Cars no longer go through the barrier after collision on Baku's main straight. So that's good. That's coming on to the start of the long run down to the start-finish straight, to the checkered flag line. That's now been resolved, so that's good, because that was definitely a problem, where cars would just go straight through the barrier onto the opposite side of the track. I have seen other cars actually taken out on the other side of that fence before, with that happening. It does mean that there's a good chance we'll get red flags instead, though, if we do get a crash there. Resolve driver panel not highlighting when focusing on an affiliate being used in FP1. That I have noticed. That caused you a double DNF. Yeah, I've seen that happen to other teams. It hasn't happened to me, but I've seen it happen. Very low track rubber status will no longer show in green. I didn't know it did. Okay. Race replay. Reapplied missing audio in the Brazil race moment on the PS4 only. Added missing race moment descriptions. Resolved discrepancies in the Las Vegas starting grid. Stroll and Bottas grid positions, tyre allocations, and season performance data. One thing I have noticed as well is, because I did a couple of race replays, race moments earlier today, is you now actually have an objectives tab. When you press L2 to bring up this page and you go across, you now have an objectives breakdown as well that shows you exactly what you need to achieve, which is good, because I used to complain about you just have the little bar in the top right corner that was either an X or a tick that said you were either achieving your objective or you weren't achieving it, but it didn't give you the full details of exactly what it was you needed. Now you actually do get that whenever you pull that up, which is nice. Presentation and navigation, various localization improvements, adjusted driver numbers for rookie drivers, resolved the World Drivers' Champion not reverting to previous race number when no longer the reigning champ, added a donut chart to the marketability tooltip, updated dialogue text for Théo Pourchaire to remove a grammar mistake, reduced the clipping seen on the Mercedes driver's hands when using the T-cam. That's this cam. Hadn't really noticed a clipping issue with their hands, but it's been resolved apparently. Double-digit driver numbers will no longer be cut off when present on the McLaren. Let's see. Where is Pourchaire? Yep, you can see the full number there now. Didn't realise that was getting chopped off, but there it is. Resolved incorrect results being displayed in Grand Prix section of the F2, F3 standings. Oh, that's good, because that used to bug the shit out of me last season, when I was looking to see how my drivers were doing, and we couldn't look at how they'd done in the race results. We just had to go straight to the standings and see how many points they potentially earned, because the results didn't track properly. Resolved to scout for a replacement button in expiring sporting director contract email incorrectly linking to the head of aero staff. Reworked the game navigation to return the player to staff rather than the driver menu after signing a race engineer via the latter. Addressed code showing in text on staff survey email when language is set to Italian. Well, good for the Italians there. Added development focus to the details tab on the top level driver screen. Moved descriptive text on the top level driver screen into a secondary tooltip. Not seeing anything there. Oh, actually, what did we get? Oh, yeah, there we go. We nailed the setup. Excellent. Resolved time column displaying incorrectly when using using stepper to view results for each F2 or F3 section. So a few bug fixes, but most glaringly the absence of fixing the DRS zones. Really hope that does get fixed at some point. So we only need to find 5% on our driver prep in the final session, so we can do a nice short run. Just leave it set at 15 laps. And that is now Saturday, so we can put the side pod onto Joe's car. Let's do that now before I forget. There we go. A little bit of extra speed, but more importantly, extra downforce. Now you can see how much he would be losing rank-wise if we kept him on the original side pod. Also going to help quite significantly with his engine cooling as well. So 15 laps, we're going to stick to mediums again. Let's, as always, drop our settings down. Might not even run it for the full 15 laps.
Okay, green.
Let's see how quickly they rack up that 5% that they need. I might actually have to do the full 15 laps here. May even have to go an extra couple. It's going to be tight. Had to do one extra lap. There we go. So we're fully prepped and ready. Joe will have a little bit more pace than he had in the previous race. Max is looking a little bit potent at the moment. Leclerc is out on a set of softs as well. Let's see how quickly he rises up the rankings. Gasly goes top. By half a second. Ooh. Norris pumps in a hell of a time on those mediums. Where's Antonelli? There he is. I was going to say, it's a hell of a lap time from Iwasa, but I've just realised he was tucked up right behind Antonelli's. That's maybe not surprising that he went quickest there. Not genuine pace, although it's only 0.6 quicker than Valtteri. McLaren starting to show a little bit of pace. Yes, Sauber are going to be knocking on the door of big points again on a pretty regular basis, it would seem. They have been able to pick up where they left off last year. They haven't gone backwards again, which is nice to see. And that is practice done. We're ready for qualifying.
Our weekend continues with qualifying, as the drivers fight it out for a strong grid position.
Jeddah's high-speed street circuit is rather prone to yellow and red flags during qualifying, as drivers and walls often meet. Strategists will be looking for the perfect gap, but need to make sure drivers get their lap in.
Now, there's been a bit of talk lately about Oscar Piastri. Karun, how's he been doing?
They were looking pretty sharp in practice and setting good lap times, so they're probably feeling fairly confident now. But a good practice time doesn't always guarantee a strong qualifying outcome.
Hold on tight, because we're getting underway.
All right, let's just send them straight out.
Okay, green light.
It's so weird seeing Ferrari at the very end of the pit row. And Williams near the very front. It's been a long time since Williams have been that high up the pit run. Evening, Cloud. Lovely driver lineup I've got. It's the driver lineup I inherited. It's not the driver lineup I would have chosen, but it's significantly improved on what Ferrari had last year.
Position on track is okay.
How's the car performing? The car's performing very well, actually. We got 4th and 5th last night. We're nowhere near the outright pace of Cadillac, but we've got some pretty good pace in the car. We're on paper about mid pack with the car.
We are ready. More push, more push.
And we've only done 3 upgrades so far, and Joe's only got 2 of them. Did we finish in the points? Yes, we did. Double points finish. I wouldn't say it's a lot better in terms of the car than last year. It's improved, but not massively improved. Ferrari's car towards the end of the season wasn't that bad. It was just the drivers were so bad that they were actively making the car worse than it really was. Not just Petit, but Maury as well. So Fuji does a 126.2. Don't know how good that is yet. Oh, it's not that great. He's 7/10 slower than Joe. I did think he got held up, possibly by the Aston, possibly partway through the lap as well by whichever Cadillac driver's on the move right now, Oscar. We are 3/10 slower than Max. That's not too bad. Fuji is going to have to run again, but Joe, I think, is probably safe. What do I think of the upgrade? Some things are a hit, some things are a bit of a miss. Well, there's definitely some missed opportunities. But, I mean, it's a free upgrade. It's adding in more features. Never going to complain about that. It's just a shame that it's not the full kind of editor that we were hoping it was going to be. Oh, 124.9. Yeah, Oscar. Very quick.
And you can stop
Antonelli's still in the pits. Interestingly enough, if I... it's a reflection of a reflection. I was wondering what I was seeing, because it looked like there was a car parked up behind Oscar's car, behind Kimmy's car, but it's not. It's a reflection on the windows of a reflection somewhere opposite, I think. Or it's just it's just very weird how that's been applied, but yeah. I was trying to make sense of that. I still can't quite make sense of that image. Something about it is a bit weird. You love the FedEx livery. Yeah, it was the one that the majority of you voted on. I may tweak it now that we have 12 additional liveries. Well, 11. I don't think I'm ever going to use the BAR one. But now that we have, some extra livery options, there's definitely scope for creating a slightly more refined version of it, perhaps. A lot of cars on track right now. There we go. A few cars coming back into the pits. Antonelli's finally made his way out. We'll head out a little bit behind him, so we won't get any benefit from him. But we won't get held up either, I don't think. I hope. Need a clean run here for Fuji to make sure that he gets through. Definitely not safe at the moment. Oh wow, Nagels is actually quicker than a few people here. Bit of a surprise. Good lap so far. No hold-ups. Antonelli goes P2. Fuji goes P2. Wow! Where did that come from? I mean, he has done a run already, so his confidence is a little bit higher. Lock up for Alex Albon there.
The action happens as they went into turn 16.
I would have given him boosted stats for that second run.
Gamble, and it was just too late.
And Albon's F1 career is petering out with a whimper at the moment. If he's out of contract this year, that might be the last we see of him. Evening, Army. Norris jumps up to P2. I'm starting to get a little concerned about Zhou. No, we're safe. We are safe. Gasly's out. Oh, that's a surprise. Max through in P5. Teammate Gasly will start P17. As Albon has that 3-place penalty for walloping Van Dorn in Sakir. Sainz is out as well. Perez. Both of the Alpines are at the back. Alpine looking like they're going to struggle this year, it would seem.
Good job, works your brakes.
Copy.
You hope the drivers we see... No, you won't see them on the podium. They won't have head models. They just have AI-generated headshots, which are already sort of in the library of headshots that they use for staff. But I mean, if there's no head model for drivers like Ollie Behrman or Kimi Antonelli, there's no way a random generated, creator driver is going to have one. We've got a few cars on track. Both of the RBs are on track. Tsunoda and Stroll. Both Leclerc and Porsche are out. Piastri's out as well. So we'll get a very early benchmark from Oscar to see how we do. We've got Lawson popping out in front of us.
Is okay.
Joyous.
When you are ready, more push, more push.
Ow. Now Norris is making his way out. Will he get in the way of Zhou? No. So, now we have to watch out for Lawson. No problem there for Fuji. Couldn't be a problem for Zhou either. And he's not. And we're not going to catch anybody else before the end of the lap. Oscar might have been held up by Norris there. .125.2 and a 125.0 for Zhou.
Try to push a bit more into the lap, Joe.
Yeah, copy.
And a 124.4 for Oscar. Maybe slightly inflated thanks to a little bit of a slipstream at the end of the lap there. From the back of Lawson. But not bad, considering we were on scrubs, although so was everybody else. We will need to run again. There's Nagels on the flying lap. He actually made it out of Q1. And he's just starting his lap. I do kind of want to watch this. So the track has rubbered in a bit more, as you can see, from the start of the session. See if he gets any traffic to deal with. I hope not. I want to see what his absolute pace is. Well, the RB's getting out of the way. Evening Central. Nice little toe for the Mercedes here. Sargent up to P3 as a result. Nagels is not going to get out of this session, I don't think. We do definitely need to run again. See if we can get the track to clear up a little bit before we go. Oh, we've tucked it right behind Lawson. That's not good. He's already started the flying lap. I was just about to take control to try and get Lawson to step out the way. So we need to hopefully get the move done into the first turn here, or else we're going to be hampered throughout the lap. Lawson is slower than us as well, so this could knock us out if we're not careful here. Can we get the move done into turn one? No, we can't. Damn. Might be about to get knocked out. If Lawson's on a personal best. He is. We're not. Oh, we need to get this move done. This is bad. No improvement. Don't even have time to try and run again for an extended run. Fuji is still through. Leclerc is out. What on earth happened to Charles Leclerc? Norris is out. Lawson's out. What about Max? Max and Valtteri are the last two that can knock us out here, because Nagels hasn't got a hope in hell. Where's Valtteri? There's Valtteri. Just ahead of Max. They're both on personal bests. Looks like Fuji is going to get eliminated here. Where's the GOAT? You need to be more specific. A lot of people have different opinions as to who the GOAT is. Valtteri goes P5, so Fuji has been eliminated. Max goes P6, so Stroll is eliminated as well. But Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris both eliminated in Q2. Big shock. Big shock, especially for Charles. Oh, Lawson got eliminated in Q1. Drive for Haas. Yeah, his career has not been very good so far. Alright, no one's popping out in front of us, that's good. Got a fair way on the track until we get to the back of the next car, and that's Yuki Tsunoda. So this should be a perfectly clean run in terms of traffic. No hold-ups unless someone has a spin and rejoins in front of us. See what kind of banker we can throw down. Both the Cadillacs are coming out now. Alright, up to the line. What can we do on nearly new tyres? We did one run in a previous session. The 125-1, that's not bad. We've still got a brand new set to slap on. There is Oscar. There is Kimi. Here comes Verstappen. And we are quicker than Max. Did Max get held up? Or have we just genuinely got some good pace? Porsche goes 3/10 quicker than us, so I think that means that Max got held up somewhere. George crosses the line in P4. Here comes Tsunoda and Valtteri. Tsunoda's going to get a nice toe here. This could be a very good time for Tsunoda. Oh, that's going to be hard to beat. A 124.2. Looks like Yuki could be sticking it on pole here. I don't think anyone's going to get close to that unless they can sneak a slipstream. Here comes Iwasa. Is this the start or finish? That's the start. Alright. Whiz through a little bit. Here comes Antonelli. Let's prep for new tyres. It's only good enough for third. There's Oscar in the background. Oscar goes P2. He's only 0.2 away from Tsunoda. He's going to be unstoppable this year, I think, Oscar. I think he's actually going to wipe the floor with Kimi. Lawson is not an 85 or an 86. He's not even close. I would say maybe an 80.
Position is okay.
He doesn't have the consistency for the pace yet. He had a couple of really good run outings last year, and he had some very average outings last year as well. The potential is there. But we've seen what happens to promising rookies or promising young drivers. They get partnered up with Verstappen. It tends to go very, very badly for them very quickly. Right, here we go.
More push when you are ready.
Can we get a little higher up the grid? Evening, Tony. So Max is done. Max is in P5 for now. Wasser, maybe gonna, well, actually might just get across the line before the flag waves. It's gonna be tight. It's going to do it just with about 2 seconds to spare. So he'll be the last one. You think you've finally sunk your team? What have you done, dare I ask? No improvement for Zhou in the first sector. We have improved in the middle, and that's put Zhou into peak confidence for the final sector. Wasn't a good idea for Piastri and Verstappen. Wage bill, I'm guessing. Especially considering what you were paying Max. What were you paying him, like 40 million a year? We found, what, 14 thousandths of a second. So we stay P7. Evening comment. Any significant changes in the patch? Yes, but only if you start a new creator team career file, and the biggest changes only apply at the very beginning of the file, and then you get some random elements that you can throw in after that, but I don't think you get to do a lot of changes between the seasons. You can kind of just mess with the grid a little bit, and that's about it. Not the grid, sorry, the calendar. Yuki on pole. Yeah, he got a slipstream. He got a hell of a slipstream, which pumped him all the way up to an unbeatable time. And yet Oscar's still in clean air, got within like 2.5 tenths of him. So Snow's going to go backwards. Oscar's probably going to run away with it a little bit if he can break away from Kimi.
The drivers are getting ready here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, preparing for 50 flat-out laps under the lights.
Jeddah street circuit certainly makes the high speeds of F1 racing a thrilling affair. But even a world champion can be caught out in between the narrow walls just as Max Verstappen found out in 2021.
The Jeddah street circuit has one of the fastest average speeds, as well as the most corners of any track on the calendar. Good high-speed downforce is going to make life in the fast lane a little easier for drivers here this weekend. It's race day, with the teams and drivers ready and raring to go.
Am I going to tune into pre-season testing? No, but I will keep an eye on the results, and I'll probably watch, whatever highlights go up on YouTube. Oh, it's throwing up a two-stop. It's interesting. It is fractionally quicker. But we're not going to go with that. We are going to go medium softs. Let's take 2 laps of fuel out. Ooh, that's new. Getting the red box. Okay. Let's send them to the grid for the start of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix.
The anticipation is really building here. The fans in attendance are absolutely buzzing with excitement.
It's a bit disappointing to see them starting down in P14, but their chance isn't over yet, not at all.
But just what will happen here, your guess is as good as mine. We're now moments away from this, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
It's not a bad start there from Fuji, but he's way down the order in 12th. Oh, well, 11th, if we can hold off Stroll. And the answer is no. Joe holds position 7th. Yuki's still in the lead. Won't be at all surprised if he tries to break away. But I don't think he will. Oh, wow. We've got people on hards. That I didn't expect. Tsunoda and Piastri both starting on hards, as is Porsche and Verstappen. Nagels is on hards as well, down in 17th place. So if Antonelli can get clear, he could scamper off into the distance quite early on here. He gets past Oscar briefly. There we go. Let's see if he rockets away. Already the front three have broken away from Porsche.
In front is Verstappen. Sargent behind.
Antonelli's all over Tsunoda here. Who is Benice's engineer? Who's he an engineer for? Joe. Ironically, he is Joe's engineer. I didn't even put that connection together until after I'd signed him. I just hired him because he was Italian. Right, Snowden's pace has dropped off and everyone else is swarming up onto the back of him. We have been dropped, but Logan Sargent has jumped ahead of us. He's given us the DRS. And now we're going to turn on the batteries.
Overtake. Copy.
Oh, we made that move a little bit too early. You believe Bonotto was hired by Ferrari simply because he was Italian? Hello, have you ever seen Ferrari? Before that, Bonotto, it was Arriva Bene. Before that, it was Domenicali. Ferrari had a period where they only hired Italians. Or almost, you know, almost all positions were filled by Italians. No, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that at all. I plan to be the exception, although I'm not Italian, so it's not 100%. But we're going to have Italian staff. Oh, Gasly's got some problems. He's in the wall. And then there's a VSC.
Yes, yes. Follow you.
Is that going to turn into a full safety? He is out.
For here, this was happening at turn 22. There! That's the moment of impact. And the car leaving a bit of paint on that barrier.
Now, was that Perez or was that Lawson that he nearly hit? I think it was Perez. So the field's been neutralised. Fuji did manage to get up to 11th before the VSC came out.
Behind Sargent.
Antonelli, crucially for him, got in front of Yuki Tsunoda. So, expect to see Antonelli scampering off into the distance when the track goes green again. We've got a big gap opened up between Lawson and Perez. It says it's 6.7 seconds. It's less than that because of the VSC. They're crossing the timing strips at slower speeds than they would in reality. probably closer to about 5.5 seconds. But it's still a big gap. We've saved almost 1 kilo of fuel already. Excellent stuff. There we go. We're going back to racing conditions. See if we can jump anybody off the restart here. Oh, bad start for Max. And everybody's right on the back of him now. As Fuji goes around Iwasa, but can't quite get the move done there. Will now, thanks to that slipstream off the back of Sargent. Can we get through past Sargent as well? Back into the toe. Still behind Verstappen. And this is where Antonelli might scamper away at the front. Making the break.
Okay, Joe.
Oh, Joe does get through on Max. Excellent stuff. So, I do love how sassy Joe is on the radio. Antonelli needs to break the DRS. He hasn't done it yet. Might do it on the exit of the corner though. No. Tsunoda is going to close back up again. Joe's one of the loudest people we've ever heard on a modern F1 radio. You obviously have not heard Logan Sargent. Alright, so Antonelli will now get the DRS. Oh, Tsunoda just blocks in there. He had the momentum, he was going to rocket past him. And instead, both the Cadillacs jump him.
Charge.
Fuji gets in front of Logan Sargent.
You're doing a good job there.
But doesn't have the same level of grip as Sargent on those soft tyres. That works out better for us, so that we can get the DRS. We wouldn't have had it otherwise. Now, can we stick to Porsche? Yeah, we do get the DRS. Oh, maybe. No, we did get it, just. Gonna lose it here, though. George Russell lurking behind us. Both cars in the points at the moment. Oh, Russell's going for a dive bomb. We're going to get pushed wide.
Okay, do your best there.
We cover off Iwasa. Leclerc's going to try and sneak through. And Valtteri got back in front of us. No surprise there. So Piastri leads from Kimi Antonelli. Yuki and Porsche still hanging on to them. There's a little bit of a gap to Valtteri. We're tucked up behind Bottas. Start charging the battery.
Okay, more charge.
Got to watch out for Max.
Yeah, copy.
Fuji's got through. New fastest lap set for George Russell. Sargent will go through. Can we hold off Leclerc? Just about.
More charge, more charge.
I think we have enough pace to break away, but I don't think I have enough pace or enough battery yet to be able to get onto the next little train. As Leclerc does get ahead of us because we're in harvest mode. Oh, it's really tight. Right, we got through.
Full overtake available.
See if I can catch up to the front four.
Good job, Joe. It's 2 seconds from you.
They're getting swamped here. We squeezed Norris right into the curves there. Gave him no room at all. We are in peak confidence with both drivers. Excellent stuff. And we did catch up. And Tsunoda has dipped.
Mode charge, mode charge.
Porsche managed to get ahead of Yuki. We dragged Valtteri with us and we've left Max behind a little bit. Max is going to get back into the zone. And I need to punch through with as much battery as possible here. Because Leclerc's going to scamper off into the distance if we're not careful. There we go. Move is done. Full deployment on the battery. Iwasa slides on through as well.
Just keep focusing on our race.
Do I watch any other sports or just F1? I used to watch football religiously. I don't watch very much of it at all anymore. That was about it. Football and Formula One. Back in the noughties, I did watch motocross. The 250. Back in the days of Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart. That was on Channel 5 at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't get to see it as often as I wanted to, but for about a year and a half, I did get to see a lot of good racing.
You're doing a good job.
Used to watch a little bit of IndyCar as well back in the 90s, but not enough to really know what was going on in terms of the championship. Just enough to recognise some drivers and get a feel for, you know, which teams were competitive or which driver team combos were competitive. It was very much Penske at the time. They had the Marlboro livery, same as McLaren in Formula One. I'm a Liverpool fan. Antonelli's dropped down to 4th. Not the tyres, but he's not pushing them anywhere near as much as the hard tyre drivers are pushing. Oh, still scrapping away with Iwasa here. Leclerc's long gone, unfortunately. And we're up to 4th as we get past Yuki. Porsche into the lead. Is this going to be a coming-of-age season for Teo? After a pretty miserable season with McLaren last year, and a pretty anonymous season with Mercedes the year before that.
Tire looks quite good at the moment.
Okay, mode charge. Mode charge.
Antonelli's actually been dropped.
Yeah, copy.
Mode charge.
I'll try my best.
Just like that, we're on a podium spot. Charles has boxed already.
Just in front of you.
Wow, that's early. 2-stop for Charles Leclerc today. Lawson's in as well. Good stop for Haas. So where is Leclerc feeding out? In front of Albon. Plenty of clean air as well between him and Sargent, so he's going to pump in some very quick times on those softs. Zhou, meanwhile, all over the back of Teo. UGE 4.5 seconds behind George. Yeah, expect to see some purple sectors soon from Charles Leclerc. Gotta get those tyres up to temp. But we are mixing it up with the front runners here. I really was not expecting. Although they are on those hard tyres, so even pushing them, they don't have great levels of grip. Probably making it easier for us to stay with them. It might be a very different picture when they go onto softs. I'm assuming they go onto softs. Perez sets a new fastest lap of 1:31.7, which is about 1.5 seconds quicker than Oscar's doing right now. Did I expect Ferrari to catch with the front runners? I didn't expect to be this far forward this early in the season. I thought I would be sort of mid-pack, upper midfield, bottom end of the points, sort of 7th, 8th, 9th, around that kind of position. But we were quick yesterday, and I thought we might struggle here a little bit, but we're quick here too. But again, tyre wear is more of an issue for some of the others than us. Stroll and Valtteri both diving into the pits here. Decent stop. Ooh, Stroll just gets out ahead. Iwasa into the pits as well. And you see the mechanics coming out for Sainz. Yeah, it looks like most of the grid... Oh, bad stop. Most of the grid's going for 2 stops by the look of it. Van Dorn's going to be stopping very soon. Sargent's going to be stopping soon, as is George Russell. Prix on 70% still on his tyres. Is starting to close in on George Russell.
Do your best to know that behind. Overtake available.
Oh, really bad exit there. Lost a lot of speed, but we broke away from Yuki with the battery.
More charge.
I'd love to have some more battery in Fuji's car, but he's just not close enough to the back of anyone to go into harvest at the moment. Russell's now 10 seconds off the back of Zhou and Co. Yuki has turned his battery on. He's closed right up. We nearly got dropped by Max. In fact, we might have been dropped by Max. We were. We didn't get the DRS. We should get it at the next zone, though.
More charge. More charge.
Oh, look at that. We've caught George. George's pace has just fallen away. He was 10 seconds off the back at the beginning of the lap. He's now 11 seconds off. Chance to break away. See if we can close in on Sonoda here. Sonoda's lapping at the same pace as this front group here. So we're chasing after the top 6. Oh, come on. Get the break. There you go. You're going to give Fuji a little bit of tyre just to make sure we definitely break away from George here. We don't have a huge amount of battery to play about with here. Slipstream is so powerful around this track. All about getting the launch out of the corners. Like that, there we go. Now we've dropped him. But Norris is right there as well, so we have to keep draining the battery. Otherwise, an overtake from Norris and he's straight back onto the back of Fuji again. Oh, Joe's been dropped.
More charge. Copy.
One more lap with the tyres at this pace. And then we'll slow them back down again.
Okay, more charge. More charge.
Copy.
I was expecting Cadillac to have scampered away in this race, and that hasn't happened. As Albon sets a new fastest lap, a 1:31.3, 2 seconds quicker than Piastri did last lap. Front runner pace is falling away a little bit more. Now there's a bit of a gap starting to open up to Max. 2 seconds. He goes very defensive to hold Porsche share back. And we have got the breakaway from Norris, and with the tyre situation as it is, that should be a comfortable gap now. George's tyres are dying. He's going to be boxing at the end of this lap. He can one-stop this with a set of mediums, or he might go on to a set of hards. I wonder if the guys who are on hard tyres are going to go to mediums, or if they're going to try and stretch it out for softs.
More charge. More charge.
Copy.
race is pushing to close up again.
Good job, Joe.
I went from P20 to P6.
Okay, more charge, more charge.
I wasn't P20. Joe started in 7th. Fuji started in 12th. All right, George is in, and so is Logan Sargent right behind him. Oh, that was mainly down to the drivers. Ferrari were 11th in the championship, 22nd and 23rd in the drivers.
Yeah, copy.
More charge, more charge. Keep focus on your race now.
All right, new fastest lap for Piastri, who's now all of a sudden 4 seconds clear at the front. Oof. He suddenly turned it on, didn't he? Leclerc has got himself up into P8 now. But those soft tyres are going to fall off possibly before our mediums do with Fuji here. We are running our own race. We're not worrying about trying to keep up with some of the others. I just want to try and get Joe into a position where we're not going to get held up. Trying to maximize the actual pace we have in these tyres without necessarily having to push them. So I want to get back into the DRS and then just sit in the DRS again. It also helps with the fuel saving if we're using DRS. And you just have to work quite so hard. A good lap from Joe so far. Personal best in the first. Equal our personal best in the middle. Yuki dives into the pits. That takes away some of the pressure from behind. And a personal best at the end of the sector as well.
Try to cool down a bit more on your tires.
Medium tyres for Tsunoda. Yeah, they can go the distance. And he gets out just in front of Stroll and Valtteri. That was tight. It was very tight.
Oh, give me everything, man.
Do your best. You need a mode charge, or charge. We need some lift off.
So I expect Antonelli to box this lap. Porsche might box as well. And Oscar's in. Good stop. He's gone on to a set of mediums. That'll take him to the end. Mediums for Kimi as well. We'll take a look at pit stop times in a second. Let's see where Kimi feeds out first of all. Behind Leclerc. Probably going to come out behind Stroll and Tsunoda. But Stroll and Valtteri do need to stop again. He's actually just out in front of Valtteri. So it's behind Yuki. Yuki with a one-lap undercut. New fastest lap of the race for Logan Sargent, a 129.9. Porsche will be in the pits this lap, I would imagine. He's got mediums, they'll take him to the end.
Use overtake. Mode attack. Yes.
Oh, Porsche staying out another lap.
Okay, Joe.
All right, well, we should be able to break away from him then. As long as he doesn't dive bomb us here. Leclerc has caught us. We are a lap away from our pit window. There we go, we left Teo behind. Max may go another lap, or he may box at the end of this one.
Full charge, full charge.
Yeah, Max is going another lap.
Our window is up.
Teo's in. There goes Oscar. That's a set of mediums. It's not a great stop there for Teo. Let's take a look at the pit stop times. Albon's got the quickest with a 2.01. Not great times for Cadillac there. See what we can achieve. New fastest lap for Lando, 129.4. Welcome back, Army. And Antonelli is starting to reel us in.
All okay to push on tires.
That's the race. It's going well. It's going very well at the moment. Fuji's made some steady progress after getting stuck early on. Zhou is doing very well indeed. Here comes Verstappen. Decent stop there for Max. Piastri and Leclerc have gone through. Tsunoda's gone through. Stroll needs to stop. And he is clear of Teo. There's Porsche in the background. Valtteri's in. And we are leading the Grand Prix. Albeit temporarily, because Oscar's going to breeze past us. Probably at the end of the lap here. Maybe even before the end of the lap at this rate. He's flying up to us, look. Oh wow, he got us at the end of the middle sector.
Yeah, keep doing it.
Yeah, and this is where Piastri's going to scamper off into the distance.
Leclerc, 7 seconds at the moment.
.129.9 again, last lap.
Guys, he just only put me off. So that. We can try to catch up.
All right, batteries are just about full with both cars. Fuel is now sorted. Soft tyres incoming on the next lap.
Okay, Joe, box this lap. Copy, box.
We can give these tyres what for now.
No lift off anymore. Copy.
So this is our pit stop lap. We are 4 seconds and a pit stop behind Oscar Piastri. Fuji is a pit stop and 16.5 seconds behind, so he's about 40 seconds off. Well, maybe not that much, but he's a fair way off. Oscar is just absolutely flying right now. He's already pulled out a 5-second gap to show. Just hoping that our soft tyres are going to make all the difference here. Leclerc needs to stop again, as does Stroll behind us. Albon, Perez, Lawson, but they're all way down the order. Sainz, Van Dorn. Through goes Antonelli. .2, it's not a great stop. Stroll coming in right behind us. Battle of the pit crews here. .2, and again we're getting held. That's not ideal. So we're ahead of George, but we are about 5 seconds behind Teo.
And 5 seconds. Russell behind.
And we're ahead of Albon. So everybody in front of us, apart from Charles Leclerc, has stopped. I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the cars of George and Logan, and I think they might be stopping again. George is almost certainly going to stop again. I don't know about Sargent. Let the tyres come in naturally. We are going to drop the hammer at the end of this lap.
Tires on target.
Got some rubber to play with, as you can see. Not a massive amount for Zhou, a little bit more for Fujii. Albon, Lawson and Ocon all in for stops. So a mixture of 1 and 2 stops here. Leclerc does need to stop again, and we'll probably see him box for a new set of softs at the end of this lap. How far ahead of us is he? 10 seconds, so he'll come out behind Zhou.
Overtake available.
Copy.
More push, more push.
Copy.
There he goes into the pits. New softs. So we are not even on the board. Pit crew just not on it tonight. Ferrari desperately trying to crack the Asian market with a Chinese and Japanese driver pairing. And given the extreme animosity between those two countries, it's a bold decision. Alright, we boxed in Norris. And we've just driven straight past Stroll. There is Leclerc. He's actually come out just in front of us. Trying to have a move on Sargent. There's a new fastest lap for Zhou. 128.4. This could be a better lap here. It is. 128.4. Wow. That was very close. Look at that. 63 thousandths of a second difference between the two.
try to cool down as much as possible.
Joe just a second and a half or so behind Teo
Okay,
now.
Joe, you can move charge.
Copy.
Need to finish 17th and 18th to achieve our sponsor targets.
Copy.
I think that's pretty much a given. Oh, and Sargent just gets gobbled up there. He's going to struggle here as well. Stroll goes through. Will Norris get him as well? Ooh, very close under braking between Stroll and Sargent there. We're actually losing ground to Porsche at the moment. Turn the tyres back up now that we've cooled them down again after the flying laps.
No management anymore.
Plenty of time to save the last little bit of fuel to make sure we don't run out. So no issues there. We've got a decent amount of battery now in Fuji's car. Enough for a little bit of a push where we need to. Leclerc just took a huge chunk out of George Russell, whose tyres are starting to really fall off. He is going to have to stop again. Tsunoda's going to have to stop again. Tsunoda is only 5 seconds ahead of Zhou, so it's only 19 seconds ahead of Fuji. Fuji might be ahead of Tsunoda, but Tsunoda will have brand new softs to play about with, or at least nearly new softs. Let's just start protecting these tyres, given that we might be in a scrap with Tsunoda. Starting to reel Porsche back in a bit. Yeah, look at that. Piastri's now 12 seconds clear of Antonelli. Once that DRS got broken decisively, that was it for Kimi.
Is a 1.5 from you. Keep focus on our race.
Just losing ground to Leclerc. It's going to be tight. Did we get the DRS? It's going to be really tight. We did just. I'll keep Stroll behind us. Leclerc is going to get DRS on George. How much longer till George boxes? Another lap or two. And we have caught Porsche and Sonoda. So 4th place in striking distance here.
That was looking fine.
Now it's a 12.5-second gap up to the back of Zhou.
Mode charge, mode charge.
Copy.
This might be the lap that Yuki boxes, so I want to make sure we get past him before the end of the lap. Gives Zhou a nice little confidence top up. Fuji is still rocking the purple.
Front there is Tsunoda. Okay, do your best there. Mode charge, mode charge.
Copy.
Mode race, mode race.
Our time.
Try to do your best, Jodar. Mode charge, mode charge.
Copy.
And there we go.
Charge, mode charge.
Slide on through.
Copy.
Fuji's now only, well, less than 8 seconds behind.
You are doing a good job there. Tsunoda beat just now.
There's a set of softs. In comes George. Set of softs for him as well. Porsche just suddenly upped his pace. Yeah, 131. Fastest lap is not secure, given that we've got cars now dropping onto pretty good softs. Yuki's a definite threat for the fastest lap.
Press overtake.
Copy.
More charge.
Copy.
Try to slow down a bit more now.
Copy.
I need to break away
Sharp.
past Porsche.
Copy.
Tyre wear is below where I want it to be for show.
Keep focus on our race. Use overtake.
Damn, gave up the DRS.
Okay, good job there.
Alright, this is where we make the move. 10 laps to go. Do we have enough pace to get onto the podium tonight? Oh, red flag. Porsche's out. Wow, that makes things a bit interesting. I have brand new softs. I don't know if the rest of the grid does. What happened to Teo?
Here we are now, down at turn 17. But oh, they can't avoid making contact. Now their confidence will have taken a hit with that. And while all that was happening, the crew in the garage could do nothing.
He was on
but
for
watch
really
on.
good points today, and it's going to be another Porsche DNF. And we are 4th and 5th again. But now we are potentially in a position to try and win this Grand
Our
Prix.
race here resumes as we get
Everybody's
back
going to be
underway.
on soft tyres. The question is, how good are those soft tyres going to be?
And it's lights out, and away we go.
So Leclerc has a look at Fuji. We shot that down. We have a yellow flag already.
We've got an
Valtteri.
incident.
Oh,
It's
damn
Valtteri
it.
Bottas, I believe.
Oh, Valtteri. That's opened up a 4-second gap. We're not the only ones with brand new tyres, but we are
Yeah, copy.
the only ones in the top pack. Next with new tyres is Norris. front two are scampering off. Max is going to try and push to stay with them, which means he's going to try and drop us in the process.
Keep focus on your race now.
And the fastest lap is very much up for grabs now as well.
Use overtake.
Copy.
Well, Lance Stroll all over the back of Fuji here. And that's the move on Max. New fastest lap, a 127.2. It's Ferrari versus Cadillac with a Williams in the mix as well. And here comes a Red Bull
Overtake available.
as Charles Leclerc gets past Lance Stroll. And Max gets past Zhou. Fuji up into third place. Zhou down 2 places.
Do your best. Next car behind will be Leclerc.
Copy.
Try to pull down a bit more on your tires.
Yep.
More charge.
Ah, didn't want the overtake.
Yes.
Good job.
That's why I didn't want the overtake.
More charge. More charge.
Currently sitting duck.
Yeah, keep doing your best. car behind Leclerc. Use overtake.
Valtteri's into the pits. Didn't change the wing.
Leclerc behind.
Or did he? If he did, it's other damage that he's got.
Move charge, move charge.
We have a fault for Stoffel.
Close the gap. Mode charge.
Can we get a win in just our second race in charge of Ferrari here? Cadillac is a very quick car. It's going to be hard to catch it and stay ahead of it.
Okay, do your best there.
We are still in the train, and while we're in the train, anything is possible. Oh, nearly 4 wide.
Yeah, he got me.
Yeah, we saw it.
And there we go. We are back up into 3rd and 4th. So now we need to go after the Ferraris. Not the Ferraris, sorry, the Cadillacs. We're the Ferraris.
Do your best.
This is it. We have to just give it everything and hope.
Overtake available.
We've got to run. Joe's going to go for the slingshot. Oh, damn it. They blocked the track. Oh, a lovely move from Joe. He's up into 2nd. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. And Piastri, who was so far ahead, is now down into 3rd place. And it's going to be under pressure from Fuji all through this lap. We're going to be putting the pressure on Kimi. And Max is still an issue as well. Norris has got himself up into P6.
Try to recover your previous rhythm that was looking fine.
There goes Oscar, but he's blocked.
Keep focus on our race.
And we have to get the move done now into this final hairpin if we want to win this race. Come on, Joe. Oh, nearly. Antonelli is going to hold on.
No overtake now.
What a finish.
Is a checker of that.
The top 4 separated by less than a second. Top 5 by just a fraction over a second. But it is Kimi who takes the win. And that was so cruel to Oscar because he'd done so well to just run away with this race, just like in Bahrain.
Anyone could be disappointed with a race like that. A consummate professional.
Fate is a fickle mistress. And what a great drive from Zhou to get ahead of Oscar and get second. We won't see a podium celebration because there's no head model for Antonelli. It's a bit of a shame. But second and fourth, what a great result. Nagel's finished a lap down.
Zhou Guanyu put it all together today for an excellent drive.
What a fantastic result for the team who got everything right for this podium. They deserve nothing less.
The team has been waiting patiently there, and you can see just how much it means to each and every one of them. As far as Ferrari are concerned, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling after that race?
They'll certainly be pleased to have made the podium. A job well done for sure.
Okay then, and a big thank you to everyone for joining us this weekend here in Jeddah.
And for the next round, Formula One is heading down under. Exciting times ahead in Australia on the shores of the Albert Park Lake.
So then, confirmation of the final result. Kimi wins round 2. And that puts him top of the driver's standings, I do believe. Zhou up 5 places to take second, ahead of Oscar Piastri in third. Fuji up 8 places to take fourth and gets the bonus point for the fastest lap as well. Lando up 9 places for fifth. Max dropping down into sixth. Decent recovery race from Leclerc, starting in 13th, finishing in 7th. Then it's Stroll in 8th. Tsunoda, who started on pole position, was always going to drop back, but ended up down in 9th in the end. Iwasa gets the final point ahead of Logan Sargent. Alex Albon had a good recovery, up 8 places to take 12th. Then it's Carlos Sainz in 13th, 14th for Sergio Perez, 15th for Ocon, 16th for George Russell, down 7 places. Didn't work out well for him today. He has got some pace though. We can expect to see him in the points pretty consistently this year, I think, assuming that Aston don't drop off a cliff. Lawson in 17th place, 18th is Stoffel Van Dorn, 19th and down 13 places is Valtteri Bottas, down to that last crash that he had on the restart, absolutely killing him there. Then it's Ludwig Nagel in 20th place, a lap down. Théo Pourchaire retiring, as did Pierre Gasly. Into the driver's standings then, Kimi goes top by 3 points from Oscar Piastri. Zhou and Fuji both move up 1 place into 3rd and 4th respectively. Fuji on 23 points, Zhou on 31, just 9 points behind Kimi. Then it's Leclerc down 2 into 5th place on 21 points, 2 behind Fuji. Lando Norris up 1 into 6th place, ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. Max is in 8th place. Stroll up 4 places into 9th with his first points of the year. George Russell drops down 2 places but stays just in the top 10. It's Gasly in 11th. Iwasa is 12th. Sargent is 13th. 14th for Pourchaire with his first DNF of the season. And it's up 7 places thanks to his finishing position for Alex Albon. 16th for Sainz, 17th for Perez, 18th for Ocon, 19th for Lawson, 20th for Valtteri. 21st for Stoffel, and Ludwig Nebel dropped to 22nd. In the constructed standings, it's another good points haul for Cadillac. They're on 83 points. We stay second, but we pull up a huge gap already to Red Bull. We're on 54. We are now 33 points clear of them. That's quite a healthy margin. The gap to Ferrari and Red Bull is bigger than it is to Cadillac and Ferrari, which is quite nice. McLaren move above RB into 4th place on 16. Williams move above Aston into 6th place. Sauber in 8th place have their first point of the season. Then it's Mercedes 9th, 10th for Haas, and 11th for Alpine. Let's check out the pit stops. We didn't get any points tonight. Let's see who did. Oh, wow, look at that. Aston, 1st and 2nd. Big points for them tonight. Haas getting some strong points as well. 3rd and 6th. RB getting some good points with Yuki. Williams gets 5th place there with Max. And then we have Alpine's Ocon in 7th. Sauber in 8th. Red Bull 9th. And Cadillac, last year's best pit crew by a mile, getting the final position for a point there. So Aston rocket up to the top of the DHL standing after 2 rounds on 49 points. We drop down 1 into 2nd on 37. No points for us today. But Cadillac miss an opportunity to overtake us. They pick up just 1 point. They're on 34. Big jump for Haas as well, despite dropping down a place thanks to Aston's heroics today. They are just 1 point behind Cadillac, picking up 23 points today. Then it's Alpine in 5th on 14. RB with 13. Williams with 10. Then it's Sauber from Mercedes. Red Bull get their first points of the year. And McLaren, the only team yet to score. Expect that to change as the season progresses. And there you see our stops. 2.221 and 2.233. The slowest time was a 2.21. So we weren't that far away from sneaking the final point. But yeah, a little bit quicker, I hope, in Melbourne. Both drivers get their sponsor targets, but they also hit their contract bonuses, so we have to pay out another 350 grand nearly. That's a bit frustrating. 1.12 mil added to the bank to go with what we had left over. Means we can afford to do our front wing. And there is the chassis. Joe. That could have made all the difference if he'd had that today. Never mind. Right. How long do we have from the ATR to the... Let's see. We've had a week. I think I might wait a little bit. And instead... let's make an extra spare or 2 on the parts that we have already built. There we go. We still have plenty of time before the ATR finishes. Right, let's see. Did the cars come through unscathed? Yes, they did. Fantastic stuff. Engine's down to 80% already after just 2 races. Got that spare side pod that we know about. That's already fitted onto Joe's car. We fitted that just before qualifying or 3rd practice. Let's check in with the board. Delighted with that result. Yeah, we're not that far away from leading the championship. Only 31 points behind Cadillac. Oh, sorry, no, 29 points behind Cadillac. So, got a chance if we can keep this going. Let's check in with the facilities. We still need to sort out the factory and the design center. Everything else in there is good. Everything else in here is good. Everything in there is good. We shouldn't have to worry about our facilities in terms of needing to do a refurb anytime soon, apart from our car development with the factory and the design center. So we have 12 days to go until Melbourne. We will deal with that tomorrow when we come back for round 3. What a great race. What a great result. We have started this season so well. Much better than I thought we would. I thought we would be probably where McLaren are right now in terms of our point haul after 2 rounds. And instead, we're sitting in second on 54. And we've got our first podium. Nearly made it a double podium. Nearly made it a win. Melbourne, though, will be a different story, I think. That is a circuit that generally is not very kind to me. So I'm expecting Cadillac to sort of romp away with that one, and we may struggle to hang on to them. Much easier tonight, but with the DRS not working properly out of turn 2, that is going to be tricky, because it's a long run then to the next DRS zone. It's easy for us to get dropped in that stretch through the first sector. So we'll see how we do tomorrow. But a great day today. If you have enjoyed tonight's race, then drop a like on the stream. If you're not yet subscribed, then please consider subscribing as well. And be sure to hit the bell to be notified when I go live. I'll be back at the usual time of 8 p.m. tomorrow for round 3 as we continue rebuilding Ferrari. Job's almost done already, really, when you think about it. But that's it for now. Until then, thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with more F1 Manager very soon.